Hey guys, it's David from Gigi's Fabric Shop, home of Juki and Junkies, and in today's video we're going to be doing a full setup on the Juki Gen NA-11 sewing machine. Now this setup is actually really easy, so we're just going to record this pretty much as one long raw clip, and then we're going to have some close-up shots as we do it so you guys can set this up at home. It's not a scary setup and it's a really cool machine, so let's get started on setting this up. Okay, so this is pretty much exactly how it's going to show up at your front doorstep, except it's going to be on a pallet. So whenever you order from JukiJunkies.com, we're going to ship with the table fully assembled and the motor mounted. Well, in this case, just the controller box for the foot pedal mounted, and of course the accessory tray on the side right there. And all you're going to have to do is unstrap it from the pallet and bring it on inside. Once you get the head of the machine, which is this big box here, and the table inside, the next best thing you're going to want to do is go ahead and put the casters on. You can also put the casters on if you got the caster option before you bring it inside, so you don't have to pick it up. You can just roll it on in. Installing those casters is really easy. It's going to be in a small little cardboard box with some tape. All you're going to do is, of course, cut it open with your razor blade or your knife of choice. Take these bad boys out. And if you're wearing sandals like me, I definitely don't recommend doing this when doing an industrial setup, because you could definitely lose a toe, especially with how heavy these machines are. So make sure you're wearing closed-toed shoes and you're not like me. However, we're in Florida right now and it's super hot, so I am not wearing sneakers until it cools off a little bit. All right, so here we are. We're just gonna go ahead and twist these down. And the hack to doing this is, instead of allowing that wheel to turn, go ahead and lock it, and then you can rotate this down. You also have a lock nut down here where you can push that all the way down and then tighten this down, and you can make the casters to whatever height you want. I like to go ahead and push that nut all the way up and just twist this all the way down, because I want the table to be as close as possible to the floor, and the casters already lifted up quite a bit. Now, as you can see, there's 4 of these to put on, and there is some plastic tape that's going to be in the way, so you can just use a razor blade to cut that clear, just like that. And you can proceed to put these on. And my recommendation, like I was saying, is to put these on before you bring it inside, so you don't have to carry it. You can just roll it on in. So here we are. We're going to go ahead and put all 4 of these on real quick, and then we're ready to flip it on over. Now, I will say the caster legs are a little bit different than the standard without the casters. You'll notice these kind of have a T shape to it. So we've got like a T shape, and then the non-casters is going to be like a K. So it's going to look like this, except you're going to have a cross member that comes here as well. So depending on what option you get, it just depends on what table legs you get. Casters are nice if you're wanting to roll it around the house often. If you don't think you're going to be rolling it around often, then get the regular legs. And my suggestion is using those furniture pads that are like plastic little plates with foam on them, and you can push it around the house if you need to move it. Now, the best thing to do is ask for somebody to help you flip this thing on over, because it's not really easy to flip it over on your own. So let's go ahead and flip this bad boy over. Okay, so now that we have the table flipped over, we're gonna go ahead and go over some of the tools we're gonna need. So we're gonna need a hammer, a Phillips head screwdriver. If you have an adjustable wrench, that's nice. It's not super necessary. And I like to use a heavy duty flathead, a long one like this that I can hit with the hammer if I need to. And then, of course, you still need your razor blade. Now that everything's out of the wrapping, I'll do a quick little inspection on my table. And just so you know, with industrials, sometimes the tables can arrive with some small minor dings and dents on them. As long as it's not super horrible, where there's like a big chunk missing or anything that's going to obstruct you from being able to feed your material through, it's totally normal. So I'm just looking around, and on this one, there is definitely a few little scuffs on this rubber rail. But like I said, that is normal. There is even a little scuff right here, but I should be able to clean that off. So I'll get some all-purpose cleaner, give it a good wipe down, and it should be good to go. I also like to note that sometimes your tabletop's color might be a gray top or a white top. It's just based on whatever we're getting supplied with at the time. Sometimes it can be a different color top. All right, so now that we got the table all out, we're ready to start taking out some of the components out of the box. They do supply you with one of these big flatheads, so you really don't need one of your own. I just get one with every machine, so I guess I had an extra. All right, so the next thing is gonna be our thread stand. This is also gonna be part of our thread stand supplies. And then we can put this little baggie. This is gonna be the hinges, bobbins, and needles. Put that to the side. Here's some screws. We'll get to that. Oil, a little oil bottle, and then of course the machine head in the styrofoam below with the machine cover right here. And I think the knee lifter's on the side. We'll go ahead and take the styrofoam out. And now you can see the machine head is exposed. Now I'm gonna go ahead and put the thread stand and the hinges on. We'll leave the machine head in the box. Okay, so let's go ahead and assemble this thread stand. First thing you're gonna wanna do, just open up all this plastic. Every single industrial comes with pretty much the same exact thread stand. So the same exact install applies to all industrials. You're gonna take this big nut off the bottom of this long bolt, and you got your metal washer, rubber washer, and then you have a rubber and then metal washer again. That's gonna go in like that. Then you're gonna go rubber, metal, and then nut, and that's gonna hold this rod onto the table, which is gonna hold your thread stand onto the table. What I like to do is just hold on the bottom of that nut and then twist this rod and just hand tighten this rod while holding on that nut on the bottom until it gets nice and tight. That's all you gotta do. Once it's nice and tight, it shouldn't be wobbly. And now we can move on to the next steps, which is opening up this thread stand plates and the foam, anti-vibration cones, spool stand rods. So now what we'll do, separate these two little guides. So this is the one where your thread spools will be sitting on. This is the thread guide that's gonna go up here. So this will go on first. Use my drill to tighten this down. You want to go about an inch and a half below the top point of this, and then you'll go ahead and put the thread guide rod on next on this upper portion with the black piece facing up. And then here is the little joint. Put this down about halfway. It should stop. There should be a little spot where it stops. And then you put this in like this. And then now we'll go ahead and just tighten up this rod. Not super tight, just to hold it in place. And we'll tighten up these screws. Now you can use your adjustable wrench to hold onto those nuts on the back if you want to tighten them down real tight, but I have found that most of the time it's fine with just using your hand. So these are adjustable, of course. You can adjust this above this if you wanted to, or a little bit lower. Adjust this up or down, of course, as needed. We will make those adjustments once we set up the whole machine and see where things lay out. So now I grab my spool stand rod. And again, it's a washer, lock washer, nut. You're gonna go ahead, put that spool stand rod down. Same order I just told you, washer, lock washer, nut. Put that on, hold it with your finger and twist the rod. And then now you can just go ahead and put the plastic plate on. It's a tight fit. Just like that. Push it all the way down. And then the foam piece goes on next. And repeat that process for the second one. Twisting the washer, lock washer nut, putting it back on the same order it came off. Twisting that down. Put that plastic plate on. Again, that's kind of hard to push down. Pushes down like that. Foam piece on. All right, there we have it. Now we can put our anti-vibration cones on here for our big spools that we'll be using. You want to use, like pretty heavy thread on this machine, so those spools will want to fit on these bigger anti-vibration cones so it doesn't wobble around. So now that we've got that set up, we're one step closer to getting this machine on the table. So now we're going to open up this little see-through, somewhat see-through cloudy bag. You're going to get this little rubber pad here, or I guess a rubber washer of some sort, or grommet, I don't know what you'd call that. Put that little metal hinge there. Same thing goes there. So you've got this rubber piece, and then you got the metal hinge. And you want to put 2 nails through there, or 2 screws. And I'll go ahead and dump out this whole bag. See if there's anything in here that I might need. We've got bobbins, some tools, some nails. A lot of this hardware we actually don't even need sometimes on these industrials. All right, looks like they gave us some nails. You could use these nails, you just push them down with your finger until it sticks into the rubber like that. And then you're gonna do the same thing on this side. There's 2 that goes in here. And then what I like to do is stub my toe on the table with my flip-flops that I shouldn't be wearing. And I'm just gonna hit this down. And I use this flathead to hammer this down because my hammer doesn't want to go in between those rubber pieces. And I want to get this as flush as possible with the rubber. You can even push it down a little bit further if needed. Okay, so now that I've got one of those in, I'm going to repeat that process on both of these, and I'm going to put 2 on each side. And now one thing I want to highlight is whenever you guys are setting up these machines, whenever you purchase them through JukiJunkies.com, you're always welcome to message us or shoot us an email or give us a call, and we'll walk you through the setup process. I like to personally give you my personal work phone number, and you can message me, send me a text message, send me a video, and I'll walk you through anything you might have questions on. So that is a nice benefit whenever you buy from us. We're going to walk you through anything you might have a concern about and help you along the way. Just like that, I've got both of my rubber grommets for my hinges in place, and now I can go ahead and get ready to start getting this machine out of the box. Now this is the part that is a little bit scary because the machine is very heavy, so you do want to make sure you have somebody that is capable of picking up 60 pounds, or at least 2 people that are capable of picking up at least 30 pounds. I want to say this thing's around 60 pounds. It could even be more. So it is pretty heavy. I'm going to go ahead and clear this table and move everything over here to the left so everything's kind of out of the way. Okay, so now that we have all of the hinges and the thread stand ready, it's time to take the machine head out of the box. Now this is the part that you're going to want somebody that is strong and capable of picking up about 60 pounds, or at least 2 people to help pick it up at once. So we're just going to pick up the head of the machine, put it on the floor, and then we'll put the oil pan in. So the best way to do this is reach into the throat space and grab the hand wheel, pick it up like this, put it down. Now we're going to grab our oil pan, which will be wrapped in plastic. Just take that all off. And this will literally just drop into the table. So you've got this opening over here, and that's going to face to the left of the table if you're looking at it. Okay, it looks like I need to take this piece off. So I'm going to grab my adjustable wrench, tighten it down on here, lefty loosey, take that piece off. I'm going to try this again. There we go. And then we're going to put this right back on. And this will be for your knee lifter, so we'll get to that part here in a second. So now that I've got that oil pan sitting nice and down on the table, we can go ahead and put the machine head up into the table. But before we do that, you're going to want to install 4 little rubber pads in these 4 corners. So here is these 4 little rubber pads. Now depending on the table you have, you may or may not need these. I believe on this table we will, so we're going to go ahead and put these in. These just snap into place in the 4 corners of the oil pan. And this will just make sure the machine sits flush with the table. And if it doesn't, we can always add extra little rubber washers in there to hold it up into that table perfectly. All right, so now that we've got that oil pan sitting there nice and flush, we can go ahead and pick up the head of the machine and drop it into the table. And now we just got to put these metal hinges in the back. I'll show you what that looks like. All I like to do is just lift up the machine a little bit, put that rubber hinge into the casting of the machine, and then it sits down in that rubber pad. I'm going to go ahead and push it back so it leans on that little plastic post on the back. Should just stay there by itself. Now you have this little plastic black umbrella piece, and this is for lifting up your foot with the knee lift lever. Just drops into that little hole right there. And whenever you use that knee lifter, that thing will twist up, and that's going to push on a little mechanism here, lifting up your foot. So you need to put that in or your knee lifter will not work. Once I have that in, I'll go ahead and tilt it back forward. There we go. And then now it's time to put the knee lifter on. So this is a very customizable portion of the machine. So you can either, you see how this is like an L bracket. You can tighten down this bolt, but you don't want to tighten down all the way yet. So you want to just go ahead and put this in here like that. And then this piece goes onto this metal shaft right here on the bottom. What you want to do is, first off, get this top one kind of snug. So tighten that down a little bit. And then you're going to get this bottom one. You're going to put that through like that. And you're going to tighten down this one just a little bit, not all the way. And my recommendation is to pull up your chair, lock the casters in place, and just play with the knee lift lever. Figure out where it's most comfortable for you. Move this pad up and down. Once you get it in the right position, then tighten down this screw or this bolt, and this bolt very tight, or it will not work because it'll just twist on these mechanisms. So make sure you tighten them down very tight whenever you get it in the proper spot for you. So for me, I'm just going to go ahead and leave it right here. So I'm just going to get these nice and tight. Like again, so many people will call and be like, my knee lift lever is not working because you don't have it tight enough. So make sure you have these things snug and tight. There you go. Now my foot's picking up. If your foot's not picking up, you need to tighten these down more, and also make sure you have that little plastic umbrella piece that's in that oil pan or it will not pick up. Okay, and one of the final steps, you're going to see a wire with a plug on the bottom here. You're going to want to use a pair of snips to cut this zip tie. Once you get that zip tie cut, this plug is going to come up through this gap back here, and it's going to plug into the side in this panel back here, and it can only go one way. So where this little clip is on the top, it's just going to clip in just like this. You can pull this back a little bit, hold it there, line everything up. There we go. Once you hear it click into place, you can leave that there, and you can grab another zip tie and just zip tie these wires nice and tight like this, and you can just zip tie them tight right there. It's good to go. Now this is your plug. You can either just plug it into the wall and zip tie these tight so there's not a whole bunch of loose wires, or you can leave it like this and just kind of pull it out of this metal grommet that's holding it in place already, and you can just use that to tighten up these wires again if you need to. I'm just going to leave those dangling on the back like that. Okay, so now that we have pretty much everything set up, you'll see this little magnetic circle. This can just go on your machine for extra needles. You can place it wherever you want, or you can put it in your little side drawer over here. You can also see that you have a little cover for your machine. You should have a couple extra bobbins. They should be aluminum class M size bobbins. A pack of needles. Now these usually come with size 23s in it. They could be 22s. And then you should have 2 extra Phillips head screws like this, a couple extra Allen keys, a couple flat heads you can just throw in this drawer, and the last little bit of nails you can just throw away. And if you want to keep these little Allen keys, you're welcome to it. I'll throw those in here as well. But that's pretty much it. You also do have 3 extra screws here. Not too sure what I need these for, but almost every industrial always comes with extra hardware because there's lots of different table options that different manufacturers will ship with. So they have extra hardware for different tables. And then finally, of course, you do want to add oil to your oil pan. You want to make sure you just dump it in there and make sure it's at that high level before you start running your machine. We'll do a full video on oiling this machine, so that way if you have any questions or concerns, we'll be able to answer that for you. But like always, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give us a like, hit that subscribe button because we post every Sunday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you have any questions on purchasing this machine or any Juki products or accessories, be sure to hit us up at our phone number popped up on the screen, or shoot us an email. We'll be happy to talk sewing machines and accessories with you. I hope to see you guys on the next video. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.